Welcome to episode 10 of Beastars. Last time we got some of Louie's backstory, Haru being kidnapped, a very dark episode, and I can't wait to see where it goes in presumably the last few episodes here. I'm guessing that it's only going to be one core. We're in double digits now, so we'll see how it all goes down. We're going to watch it and discuss it. Subtitles and timer are on the screen if you want to follow along with those, or you can pull up the full episode on the side. But either way, let's go in 3, 2, 1... play. Starting out with the OP, of course. So yeah, while that plays, let me say that if you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel. Beastars comes out every Sunday, with other videos every single day of the week. Also, the description down below has links for Twitter and Discord if you want to hang out there, and Patreon, where you can support the channel, get these videos early, vote in polls to decide which shows I watch, and all that. So yeah, thank you very much. Another sad thing about the show probably being shorter is that we won't have a second OP, which means I wouldn't get to see what they would do with a second OP. It's always potential for a second season, and if they do, will they do another stop motion? Can only hope. I'd be greatly disappointed if they didn't. They should definitely sell these as merchandise. Sure, they'll have figures, but they should have not quite stuffed animals, but, you know, like the felt, whatever they're made of, things here. Should make those and sell them, for sure. Can we get a Legosi Nendoroid? Can switch out the faces. One really nice and one with, like, snarling fangs showing, and yeah. Take off Louie's antlers. Can make Haru naked. So he's following the trail. The Shishigumi. I heard people talking about the translations and what differences there may be, but yeah, it's, you know, Shishigumi, which was cool, realizing that that's what they were saying, just because it sounds so similar to Shinsengumi, and I was like, wait, are they saying Shishi? Because lion? And then, yeah. Nobody wants to get involved in that. Also, of course, the number 4, Shi, the unlucky number, which Louie also had on his foot, and then lions are Shishi. So, that's definitely intentional. I learned from One Piece because of Zoro's attack. Shishi Sonson. Back in the old Mr. One fight. Damn! That's brutal as shit. Let us skin you alive. And you make fun of his financial status. I don't keep cash in my wallet. Is the panda? Yeah, I don't remember his name. Thorkel. He didn't remember his name either. Okay, Gohan. Let's go with Gohan. I could say Gohin, or I could just go with Gohan, because that's funnier. Not only a Dragon Ball reference, but a food reference. That's how I'll remember it, at least. I'll remember Gohin by thinking of Gohan, so yeah. Lot of lions. We're gonna need a crew. That's a... What the fuck is... Okay. Do you want to come with? Yeah, they're like, there's nothing that can be done about that. They haven't done that yet, though. Yeah, she still doesn't know about that. I think he'll help him out. Going off on his own in the rain. What are you thinking, Panda? Nah, not gonna do anything? He's off on his own? I mean, he did already tell her how he felt. Pretty much. Like, she got it. Seemed to, anyway. It's a heavy rain. Yeah, the bunny. So how does Juno factor into this? He's all bruised from their fight. He went to go save her. Something Louis couldn't bring himself to do. Absolutely. Well, I mean, the main characters aren't going to die. I don't think we need to worry about that, but I do have no idea what's going to happen. Like, is he just going to storm in there? Like, how can he do that alone? He's got to have backup, but there's nobody else unless Gohin shows up. Unless he just gets captured too. Unless he just actually does completely fucking destroy, like, dozens of lions by himself. Dog versus cats. This is the sequel to Cats and Dogs. Did they make a sequel to that? They might have, I feel like, actually. Okay, this is the third one then. Whatever. You remember that movie? Nice. He's fucking Tanjiroing. He can smell the attack line or whatever that was. His nose is so powerful. Damn. Demon Slayer is the last show that I watched on Sunday. Beastars replaced it, so it's interesting that I went from one show with a very good sniffer right to another one. That's a very specific thing. Damn! Okay, so we finally see that again from the very beginning of the show when he was consumed by that. So clearly it wasn't any kind of outside force interfering, that was just the visual representation of what's going on in his body, and looked fucking awesome. Oh. The goat girl. He's got a gun pointed at him and he still felt it. Whoa! He still felt fear for a second there. Shit! Oh my god! Okay, he didn't kill him, it just grazed him, but holy shit. I'm gonna pull a Bill and just fucking... Oh, his ear got blown off. Wow. Whoa! Hold up, buddy. Wow, he just let that slip out. That's just what came out. Holy shit. And he immediately realized, wait, what? Fuck, that's... Well, do it. Don't talk about it, dumb shit. What are you, a fucking villain? You made the damn villain mistake. There he is. Goheed, my boy. He could die. But I don't think he will. I think it's a little too soon for that. Don't fucking talk about how you're gonna shoot somebody. Just do it. And you literally win if you just do it. Oh, yeah. Alright, so it's just those two. By themselves. Can they do it? I didn't know if we would have like a team of students coming in to help him, but it seems like it's just the two of them. Alright, we're on a rescue mission then. What a guy. I knew he'd come and help. There was no way they were just going to leave it like that. And here comes the cavalry. The cavalry. Yes, I fucking did it. God, I'm talented. Alright, the fight is on. Holy shit, let's go. I'm trying to watch both at the same time. He's just gonna beat the shit out of him. He's a big, strong panda. Dodging. Just trying to get through. Gotta get through all these guys. Got nice. Back up from behind. Boom. Alright. He's just worried about going forward. Gohin can clean up the mess he leaves behind. Shit! I have no idea the literal strength comparison of wolves and lions in real life. I don't care. it's a story, so it doesn't matter. It's awesome to watch, though. It's like, shit! Ah, he could get overwhelmed. Damn! Is he gonna stay to help? He's got to stay behind to help his friend. Like, he came in here to help him out when he didn't have to. You can't let him get the shit beat out of him. Or is it better to just trust him and... Yeah, he stayed behind to help. That a boy. More of Haru's smell. The more he smells of her, the angrier he'll get. Ooh, don't say that. Her smell powers him up. Damn. Stop tripping. Nice. Damn. Holy shit. Alright. He says he's okay, so there you go. I didn't think it'd be just the two of them. And they would really just storm in through the front door, but there we are. So what the hell are the implications going to be of this? Like, what is going to happen once they rescue her and this gets out, if it does? She's writing her will. Okay, kind of like an informal will. It's kind of a last diary entry. Oh, it's not funny. It's fucked up. Weird. This is, I guess, one way to put it. That's horrible. Oh my god, absolutely not. That's horrible. Holy shit. She's a super cute, tiny little rabbit. The dwarfest of the dwarfs. And they're already particularly weak, and she's even smaller than normal. Yeah, you can't really fully comprehend that as a child. You finally start to see the strength difference. Yeah, as like the other kids get older and they start to come into their own with like size and strength, and you don't. And you get looked down on. So then you really start to understand that that's actually true. Oh yeah, like even that little thing, you bump into somebody and they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" And so easy to get hurt. That guy looks like he's 70. I thought that was like her grandpa. He looks old. Is that a student? I don't know. I guess you can't really tell with a rabbit, but to me he looks old. Maybe it's just because he looks older than her because she's a cute little dwarf rabbit. But he looked old. Wow. I see. So this is where she can really just kind of express herself, be on par with these other animals. Yeah. That is so... Oh my god. That is such a realistic, serious, like, character trait that you just never see in anime. Something like that. Like the way she felt about her sexual encounters, and that is, like, that's, I don't, fuck, like, the author of this has just done such a good job of making these characters so real and just hit so close to home, and they're so understandable and complex in a way that you just rarely see. That image is horrifying. I really like this. Her ass up with them holding her tail. It's so sad. Oh, great, fantastic! Thank you for the details. Whoa, damn, Haru fighting back. Awesome. Let's see what a dwarf rabbit can do. You're probably pretty fast. You're a tiny little springy person. Nice. So that was all just going on in her head while she was in that position. In that humiliating moment, she took the chance to turn it around. Fuck yeah. What a badass. I love the smile she had there when she said that. Okay. Trying to show that you're some kind of badass? Nobody cares. Fuck a dick and die. Don't. Oh, what, No! What the hell are you gonna do? Oh god, this is horrifying. Lugosi, you've gotta, right now, do it. Do it. Do the last second anime save. Don't end. Okay, thank God. Fuck. I thought the episode was gonna end there and I was about to have a fucking... I was gonna shit my pants. Oh, fuck, jeez. Like, I knew he was gonna save her, but still. God damn. Heart was racing. And what a beautiful way to do it. Whoa! Here, cover yourself up. Yeah. It's fine that it smells like sweat, buddy. He's gotta keep fighting. Holy shit, though. Like, I mean, the actual... When you... I would chase your white fluff to the ends of the earth. That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm gonna cry. Anyway, when you, like, think about what he actually just did, though. Like, you think about it in anime, and like, oh yeah, that happens in anime. Characters go rescue people, whatever. But, like, when you really think about it, him just being this student, and he just went and fought the fucking Yakuza to go save her, and think about that from her perspective, thinking she's about to die, and feeling like that. Having all those thoughts in her head, and her life flashing before her eyes. And then he just comes in. Like, she never, ever would have expected that. Like, she never would have thought, oh, maybe Lugosi or somebody like that will come save me. She would have had no idea that could happen. So, like, imagine how she would feel from that. Seeing him come in to do that. What a guy. Anyway, let's talk about it more. Alright, episode 10. I didn't really know where we were gonna go with the whole Haru kidnapped thing. Like, obviously they have to save her. You can't take too long because she's in danger. But I didn't think it would be this episode, and I certainly didn't think it would only be 2 of them, and that it would just be as simple as charge in the front door. But that's what it is. I didn't know if we'd have an episode of maybe contemplating what to do, getting a team together, getting a plan together, getting some of the other students from the school involved. But no, it's just this episode, him and the panda Gohin, it's great to see him return, just go at it and beat up the lions and go in to save Haru. And they're not out of the woods yet, they're still there in the middle of enemy territory, but he has at least reached Haru and saved her from immediate danger. So yeah, I've seen some people say that they changed some things from the manga, and I'm sure that's the case. I've heard that they showed more of his fighting and more of how he got through all the lions, and maybe he got beaten up more and all that. And I was satisfied with what they did show in the anime, so I have no problem there, and reading the manga can just be an additional experience if I ever get around to doing that. And I've also heard that maybe there were just other changes in general, but I've seen some complaints about the realism of this. Like I said during the reaction, I don't know how much a lion's strength compares to a wolf's in general. I don't care. That means literally nothing to me. I couldn't possibly care less in this fictional world and fictional story. But yes, I will say that the literal act of getting through these Yakuza, these Shishigumi guys, was anticlimactic compared to how it had been built up. With how they were built up, and how they were saying that it was impossible, and how all it took was a high school boy and a panda, and they just kind of stormed in and they just did it. Definitely felt like it should have been more difficult. It's not over yet, though. I'm hoping, because most of the guys he just ran past. He was just trying to get through them. And then Gohin was left to fight on his own, and they only ran into, like less than a dozen guys, it seemed, and any of the ones that he didn't run past, Gohin would just like temporarily knock out. So there should still be plenty, and they could have a difficult time escaping. We don't know what state Goheen is in. He might have been overwhelmed. He might be captured right now. Legoshi and Haru are not in danger of dying. They're the main characters, but he's somebody who could die. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't feel like that'll happen this early on, but you never know. But he could be captured. He could be in a bad state. He could be injured. And they could have a hard time escaping. Legoshi and Haru might meet a lot of opposition on their way out. So it's not over yet, and we don't know what's going to happen. But what we saw so far was a little too easy. I don't care. Like, that's not what the show's about, you know? This is not an action show. It can have action in it like this sometimes, and I enjoyed watching it. It was fun. But this is not a show where, like, power levels matter. So I'm not really going to get all up in arms about, like, Legoshi defeating all of these lions just does not make logical sense. And if it does bother you, then it bothers you. I am just so enamored by the characters and the character writing that other stuff is just kind of not as important to me. Like, okay, cool, yeah, it's fun. Like, the literal things that are happening are just, to me, a vehicle for the characterization and the character development, which is all still there. You know, you still get the character writing for Haru and Legoshi and all of that stuff and everything that's been built up and that makes you care about them. That all is still relevant, and that's still all in the show. Just the literal events of him, like, storming through a bunch of lions and beating them up. That's just like the window dressing. That's just the surface level stuff that just communicates the ideas that are actually important. And so, yeah, I mean, in another show where I don't care about the characters, then maybe I'd be like, oh, now this is fucking stupid. But I care about the writing so much that this is just fun, and it doesn't really bother me very much at all. I feel like they should have had more guns. I know in Japan, guns aren't a common thing. But if you're going to show that one of them does have a gun, then I'm going to expect more than one. You know, if you're gonna if just none of them had guns, then that's honestly better. I would still have the question of why they don't have them, but then at least you could push it aside, like, okay, well, none of them have guns, so that's clearly just not a thing here. But if you introduce that one of them has a gun, then I'm gonna be like, you couldn't get 2 guns if you had the one, and maybe we will see more. But, you know, I would have expected more weapons, more fighting prowess from any of these guys, for sure. And you could come up with all kinds of reasoning behind it, like maybe they've gotten complacent in their strength and didn't think they would be challenged. Maybe it was more about, like, their political power than fighting prowess among the underlings. Legoshi is hopped up on Haru's scent, and he's fucking just hyped up out of his mind, which was cool. You know, seeing that at the beginning of the series, just that, like, the orange aura flow through him, making me think there was some kind of outside influence to that. But no, that was just showing, you know, the visual representation of how much that scent affected him. And it was great seeing it here again and him be so energized by it and how strongly he wants to see Haru. And one of the most interesting parts of the episode was when he accidentally called her his prey. When he smelled that scent, that's just what came out of his mouth. That was the first thing to come to mind. He just said it without even thinking that, like, on the most basic instinctual level, it seems that is what he thought of first. Prey. Which is really dark and makes you reconsider everything. Like, makes him reconsider, wait a minute, why am I really doing this? And, you know, we have Goheen involved here, and he's the one who said before, you might not even really love her. It might just be kind of like disguising your actual deeper instinctual desire to eat her. And so now there's still that worry in there, for sure. Haru, you know, she was kidnapped, which is not the most interesting thing to happen to a character, for them to just have to be a damsel, but I talked about that before. But here, again, it still gives us insight into her character. She's still being active, and she's trying to do stuff on her own. She's trying to escape, and there's just so many relatable things that she says. She's talking about being a woman and being this small dwarf rabbit, and that is probably something that people like that have to deal with in real life too. Women definitely have to deal with being in fear more often than men or people who are bigger, and it just applies so well to this world where she's the small dwarf rabbit, and with the whole carnivore herbivore dynamic. And it makes perfect sense that groups like this would operate, that they would kidnap and be the way that they are. that it doesn't come across as cliched of like a kidnapping, rapey type scenario, because of the lion bunny dynamic, when he's gonna like bite her fucking ears off or whatever, it feels right in this world, and it feels like a really just fucked up natural element of this world that we've been introduced to. But yeah, that scene was really fucked up. Just seeing her being held down in that humiliating position the whole time was really sad. But it was just great for her character as well, learning about presumably the first time she had sex and how she really feels about it all, and how, of course, she's been looked down on. I mean, not only are they rabbits, they're herbivores, rabbits, dwarf rabbits, and she's the smallest of them. So she's in a very lowly state compared to some physically. And I really like how, as a kid, she couldn't fully comprehend that, of course. Like, you could literally die easily, but you can't really understand exactly what that means. And then she starts to understand it more as she gets older. You'd see your peers growing up, getting bigger and stronger, while you don't. Something as simple as bumping into somebody in the hallway and they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" Which, of course, they're just trying to be nice. But for her, it just feels like you're being looked down on, that they're taking pity on you. And they're just acknowledging that you're this weak little creature who needs to be protected, and she doesn't want to be seen that way. And for her, sex was a way to bond on an equal level with somebody. For them to see her as like a real person, their own age, their own, I would say as an adult, but I mean, you know, she was a teen when that started, but still, as like your own adult-ish agent that they can be with, rather than just somebody to be looked down on. And so that's how that started. Even when it got to the point where people were shunning her, she lost friends, people were calling her the school slut or whatever, she still preferred that, having those intimate moments with people rather than being looked down on all the time. It probably just gave her more confidence generally on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, that is a really good look into her character, and just this whole scene that's going on in her head of kind of writing her will and thinking back on everything. And I'm glad that she decided, like, hey, fuck you, I'm gonna fight back. Like, I'm not gonna be humiliated. You're not gonna get that out of me. You want to taste shame in my meat? Well, that's just not gonna happen, buddy. It was so dark and messed up, and fuck those lion guys. But yeah, her standing up to them was great, and then Lugosi coming in. Like, again, like, it's a cliche thing, you know, oh, girl gets kidnapped, we gotta go save her, we storm the castle, come in, last minute save. But I just don't care, because I like them so much. Even though I knew she wasn't gonna die, I care about them so much that my heart was actually racing, and I was like, hurry up, and then he came in, and it looked great, and it sounded great, and it was beautiful, and it was awesome. And yeah, what a fucking hero. Like, just, he was gonna come there by himself and just attack the Yakuza to save her. And she had no idea. She couldn't have possibly guessed that anything like that would happen. She thought that she was going to die. She's like, nobody's going to save me. And so, can't even imagine how she'll feel. I love that she was thinking about him and thinking about how he treated her differently and just treated her as who she was. And saw her for who she was, and then he comes in and saves her. She's going to be blown away by that. So yeah, I love these characters. This was fun. I can look at the tiny little details and say, why didn't they have more guns? And how did he beat them all up? Even though it's not done yet. They still have to get out of there. And I don't even fully care about that all that much. I do want to see what is going to happen and see what kind of struggles they have to face. Because, again, like, I do understand people's complaints where they might be coming from with that kind of thing. You do want to have some sense of realism in here. You do want to have, even though they're the main characters and you know they're not going to die, you want to have some sense that they could be in some kind of danger. You want to feel like they really are facing these real threats that have been built up. So I do understand that. But, you know, I care more about, like, the societal implications and what this is going to mean for society as a whole. If this gets out, like, what the implications of this will be for the Shishigumi, how other characters will react to it, like Louis and Juno and everybody, and just what this will mean for the characters going forward. That's what I really care about, and I thought all the character beats were great in this episode. Like I said, in anime, you just don't generally see something like what we got with Haru here. It's so rare for anime to address these relationships, like sexual relationships, in any kind of serious way at all. And when you do get them, it's often in like a really melodramatic way and very over the top. And I just feel like the way they've addressed so many human conflicts and just human feelings in this show about animals that it's just fascinating. Like, it deals with these human issues so well that I have to wonder, like, how much real life experience the author is drawing from with these characters, like how much of herself is in anybody like Haru or Legoshi or Louis, because it just feels like she has a really strong grasp on just the way people work. Just in my opinion, I feel like these characters are really real and really fleshed out, and you just get so much more from them than you usually expect to see in anime. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know how I'd rank it among the other episodes, because I do concede that it's a more cliche plot, her being kidnapped, him coming to save her. But, you know, that doesn't negate everything else. And there's so much more, and there's going to be so much more going forward. You know, the manga is still going, it's fairly long. So, if that's a thing that happened this one time, forgivable. I'm sure everything else is great. Everything else with the characters is still great. And I had fun with it. You know, I've seen people saying things like, oh, it turned into a generic shonen or shoujo or something like that. And that's ridiculously extreme. Like, it didn't... Again, everything that was built up and all the writing, that is still there. And also, this was one episode. And in the grand scheme of the manga, one small thing that's part of an even larger whole. So it didn't just, like... It hasn't turned into anything, you know? This was one episode, and then we'll see what happens after it. This is just this one thing that happened. Like, if you didn't like this one thing, that doesn't make the show as a whole suddenly bad. It wasn't like a 10 out of 10, and I didn't like this episode, and now the show is a 2 out of 10. Like, that's rather extreme. This is one of my favorite shows of the year. I think... I don't have a definitive list, and I also haven't seen every show that I'd like to see, but out of what I've seen and what I'm thinking of off the top of my head, I'd say like top 2. Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 and Beastars, probably. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming. Let me know your thoughts on all this. There's a lot to talk about. Comparisons to the manga, how you felt about this whole situation. There's a variety of opinions out there. People hating it, loving it, being in the middle. I really enjoyed it. You get that kind of thing in shonen fights. I remember in One Piece, when Luffy was fighting Katakuri. If you've never read that or seen it, I'll explain it in a way that's understandable, no worries. But basically that was a battle of ideals and a battle of wills, and it was very much about the characters and their journeys in that battle, especially Katakuri's and what he was going through and how he was developing. And it was kind of more so about that than the literal physical choreography of the fight, which was amazing and like the best that has ever been in One Piece, and it was an amazing fight. But like, Luffy got the shit beat out of him so much, and everybody was like, why isn't Luffy fucking dead? Including me, because he was taking so much more damage than Katakuri. But that's not really what it was about. It was more about the characters and their journeys and what the fight meant. And like the literal physical punches that were happening to Luffy's face and everything were, again, just kind of the window dressing and the surface level to convey what's happening within the characters. And sometimes it can be taken too far, because like even during that fight in the moment, I was thinking like, he should be so much more hurt than he actually is. But by the end of it, looking back on it, I was able to appreciate it so much more, knowing like where the character arc was going and what the whole fight was meant to represent and be about. So it's the same kind of thing here. Like it all depends on how invested you are in the characters, I think. Because I would prefer if both on a thematic level, a character level, and on a literal, physical, realistic level, the fight was good on both. But if one is so good, which I find it to be in Beastars, you know, the other can be sacrificed a tad. So I don't see him going through all these lions so much as a literal thing, even though it obviously is literally happening. I just view it more as a character moment that I really enjoy, because I like the show so much. Did any of that make sense? Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments and we can talk about it some more. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed and you want to see more. Check out the Patreon for all that stuff down there if you want to support what I'm doing here. Really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time.